Choosing your colours. So I find the easiest way for me to do this is to create a colour swatch. So here I've determined all the colours I can see within the image. This way I can easily use this to match the colours I need without spending all my time testing every shade of pencil whilst I'm drawing. I've done a quick sample of each of them, and I've placed the number and colour of the pencil beside them here. I've matched them as closely as I could with my pencils, and as you can see there are a lot of pinks, browns, greys and blacks in there. Some of these colours I'll only be able to achieve through layering, and I'll talk you through how to do that within this video. I use a combination of Caran d'Ache luminance pencils and polychromos. These are my favourite pencils to work with. I use the luminance pencils primarily for the base layers as they are quite smooth and milky, and the polychromos are great for applying those crisp details on top. So they layer really nicely on top of one another. It's always a good idea to start layering them at this stage to get a better understanding of how the two colours will blend with one another. So putting aside a little extra time to do a few layering and colour swatches can be really helpful when you are working on your drawing. It can also help act as a warm-up and get you into the right frame of mind about how you're going to tackle certain areas. I'll be putting a list of the materials and colours I'll be using in the description below, particularly if you are looking to invest on some high quality and light fast pencils, as these can really make a significant difference to the final outcome, especially as certain brands can be more scratchy or the colours won't be as vibrant as you need them to be. And if you're looking to start selling your original artwork, it's really beneficial to think about the quality of the materials you're working with, especially as you want them to be light fast, which essentially means that they won't be affected as much by the ultraviolet light. So you don't really want your drawings to discolour over time. I wouldn't normally do these in such detail, but I thought for the purpose of this video it'd be really beneficial for you to see what I do when I'm starting a new piece. It can be particularly helpful if you have multiple drawings on the go. So if your colours get mixed up, you can easily come back to this and work out which pencils you were using for each drawing. So here I'm just applying a base layer using a French grey, and then I'm going to be blending some burnt sienna over the top, and then I'm finally going to darken it with some black as well. So now I'm applying the burnt sienna to give it a warm brown glow, and then I'll be going in with my black pencil to create those darker shadows while still have that warmth come through from the sienna. I'm just adding a bit of black now to really darken those shadows. I'm just going to add a bit more sienna in just to bring out those warm brown tones. So here you can see the colour of the shadows in the nostril that I'm trying to achieve. I've also done some layer swatches earlier for the pink areas and some of the light grey tones coming through in the highlighted areas of the nose as well. Outlining your drawing. This can probably be the trickiest part, because no matter how well your colouring skills may be, if the initial drawing isn't proportionate, all that hard work will result in a piece that you aren't satisfied with in the end. So you probably think I just grab my pencil and paper and just throw down an easy sketch, done, easy, onto the fun part. The sketch part does not come easy to me at all. I spend a lot of time trying to get this part right before I move on to any of the next stages. So here you can see my initial sketch. It's not perfect, the sizing is a little off, and when drawing I do have a tendency to angle my paper, so it can sometimes throw off the proportions and the perspective a little. So to correct this, I actually use tracing paper. I think it's probably one of the best tools you can use. There are some people who can perfect their drawing without any need for it, and I salute their skill, but sadly I am not them. So the way in which I use it is I'll do my initial sketch. So here I've put down an initial rough outline just to get the idea of the shape of the nose or what I'm drawing. And then I go over it with a slightly darker and softer pencil and just define any of the shapes that I can see. So here I'm just defining the circular shapes in the nostrils. So now that I've completed my outline and defined any of the lines and shapes I want to keep, I'll then start to transfer my line work onto a sheet of tracing paper. Here I've cut some pieces to size, they're slightly larger than my drawing, and during this stage I will alter any angles and sizes that need correcting. If a nostril is too big, I can make it a fraction smaller. If the angle of a line is slightly too harsh, I can adjust this whilst being able to see the differences I've made from the original sketch. Each piece I trace, there will be a slight alteration, and I will always have the opportunity to recover any areas that I felt I drew better before. So it saves me from starting from scratch again. Plus I think it's wonderful to see the developments of your drawing as well. I think it's a great way of doing this because you always have the original sketch available to you. Using a rubber can erase areas that you won't be able to recover, and sometimes trying to redraw them doesn't always equal the same result. It can sometimes take a few attempts before you get an outline you are 100% happy with, but I've found over time I haven't had to do this as much. So I have seen a vast improvement in my skills since approaching my art in this way, and rather than erasing my mistakes, I've learned and improved upon them. I also use this process for constructing compositions, so I'll do sketches, trace elements, and then explore different areas they could go by moving them around quite easily. You can use products such as Trace Down to speed the process along. You can get it in chalk and graphite, so if you are drawing onto a darker surface it is ideal for that. Or you can use a light box, but for the purpose of this video and what I tend to use more often than not is tracing paper, so I thought I'd stick with that for now. So here we have my final sketch on a small sheet of tracing paper. This is the outline I am most happy with. It's taken me about 5 attempts, but that's okay. I'm going to then transfer this onto my final piece of paper, and I'll be using for my drawing. So I'll have to flip it and redraw the line so that it's the correct orientation, as you don't really want your drawing back to front. And then I'm going to start adding some colour.